All right. Good evening. Namaskar, everybody. Thank you for coming for the Sugarland Mayoral debate. And just wanted to thank the Set Brothers for letting us have access to this beautiful venue. And of course, for our refreshments, we thank Pai of Pojin Restaurant for sponsoring the refreshments. This mayoral debate is being organized by Disha USA. Disha is a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization aiming to increase in the community's participation, civic engagement, and community involvement. Disha has been in existence for a little over 3 years, and we hope to bring the community together by fostering constructive dialogue, debate, and discussion. So we have two esteemed moderators who will be moderating the debate tonight. But before that, if I may request all audience members to check their phones and make sure that it is on silent, we would greatly appreciate that. We would also request, if you do have to take a call, you can exit via the rear door over there and take the call in the corridor. We will have a very limited opportunity to ask questions in the end, and there are cards, index cards, that our volunteers will be handing out. Raise your hand if you would like one, and they will give you an index card and something to write with, but that will be towards the end. Please be respectful. We want to hear all the questions from the moderators, as well as the thoughtful answers by our candidates. There should be no disruptions, no sloganeering, no placards, or anything of that sort. And we appreciate everyone's cooperation in that matter. So our moderators are Juhi Verma and Dr. Subodh Puchar. Juhi has been a journalist who has worked in the Boston area before coming to Fort Bend County in 2020. She is an avid follower of events in the community and contributed to the Houston Chronicle, the Fort Bend Star, and the India Herald. She takes a keen interest in Sugarland City Council meetings and is absolutely excited to pose questions to our candidates. Dr. Subodh Puchar has been a towering figure in our community for over 33 years. He has served in the medical profession and has an extensive knowledge in campaigns, elections, and other civic events. He helped his wife, Sonal Puchar, during her run for FBISD Board of Trustees. He is a host of the longest running Desi talk show in the USA called Open Forum, where he, along with his co-hosts, have interviewed hundreds of candidates running for various elected positions. Please welcome our moderators and our esteemed candidates. And with this, I hand it over to Julie.
Thank you, Paraji. Good evening, Sugarland. Welcome to tonight's mayoral debate. It is a pleasure to welcome our audience and our candidates. I'm Juhi Verma, and I will be your moderator this evening. My job is to make sure we get some real answers, keep it civil, and most importantly, wrap up in time and have everyone home in time for dinner. We have some fantastic candidates here: Michelle McKeska, Naushad Karmali, Carol McCutcheon, William Ferguson, and Alex Sow. Our 6 candidates, Sarvar Khan, could not be here due to a family matter. Our debate will be live streamed on Disha's Facebook page. I want to take this opportunity to say hello to our audience at home. Thank you so much for tuning in. It will then be available for viewing on Facebook and YouTube. Now, what is the difference between a debate and a forum? Dr. Bujar will explain the rules.
Good evening, all of y'all, and thank you for coming. I know you guys are busy. You do have some of the rules on those seats out there. You could probably read them and you'll know exactly what we're talking about. But I'm going to highlight a few debate formats and ground rules, if I may. The moderators, Julie and I, will determine which questions are asked, answered by whom, and when during the debate. We actually did pull out some numbers, and as you can see, we have them all lined up in numbers. So the questions are going to be pretty random. They're not biased at all, and they already know the rules. So you're going to find those rules as we go. Each candidate will have 1 minute to provide an opening statement. Each candidate will then have 2 minutes to respond to each question that Judy and I will ask you. The moderators will lead a brief discussion and follow up if needed. Each candidate will have 1 minute to provide a closing statement at the end of our debate. Audience members, as Ms. Barrow said, are expected to have a good time, but maintain the civility of a good debate. And I really want to thank you for that. We also have a little fun game that we're going to be playing in the middle. We have 2 envelopes that each candidate have in front of them, envelope for number 1 and number 2. They have no idea what's written out there. I think no one out here knows except the moderators. What's the question? Those questions are simple. We're just trying to find out our next mayor, how well does he know sugar? Simple questions, really, really simple question. No trick question. There are 2 of them. And having said that, I think we're going to start our questions. How does that sound? The first 2 questions are going to be for everyone. You get about a minute to answer these 2 questions. And the last 2 questions, when we finish, are again going to be general questions and fun questions again for all of y'all. So we're going to start at a very light note, get serious in the middle, and then end at a very light note also. Does that sound good? Are we ready? Before we start that, let's give them a round of applause right at the onset. Thank you very much. We've divided our questions into different groups. The first one's going to be governance and leadership, but the first 2 questions are going to be for everyone. And it's easy. Why do you want to be the mayor of Sugarland? And what is your favorite thing about living in Sugarland? Are we going to start with you? So this has. Kirish is the timekeeper. Yeah. This one is going to be for 1 minute each, right? At half a minute, he's going to ring the bell. Sorry about that. I mentioned that. Is that true? Yeah, 45 seconds. Sounds fair.
Yeah, can you repeat those 2 questions?
So the first question, we're going to go 1 question at a time. So the first question, we're going to do 1 question. The second, we'll start again. Yeah. Why do you want to be the mayor of Sugarland? Easy. And what is your favorite thing about living in Sugarland, Texas?
Well, as many of you know, I am born and raised here in Sugarland. So one of the reasons why I'm running for mayor is because this is my home. I'm your neighbor. I'm a mother, I'm a former teacher, and a current advocate. And one of the things that I think Sugarland needs are leaders that will lead with vision, with boldness, with creative and community-driven solutions. One of the things that I absolutely love about the city is our town square, especially because I have a 6-year-old son. His name's Malachi, and we are able to go there and just enjoy and eat dinner, and he's able to play and make new friends. And that's just a wonderful family-oriented place that I hope as mayor to create even more of. So thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nishad Kabali. So happy to see everyone out here. It's very simple why I want to be the mayor. It's on all of my POP. It says Nishad loves Sugarland. I wear it on my wrist bracelet. I wear it on my shirts. I love this city. When I got elected 6 years ago to District 2, which you all are sitting in my district today, Telfair, New Territory, and River Park, I knew 6 years ago that Joe Zimmerman was term limited. And I knew that in 2025, he would no longer be able to run for mayor. That's when I made up my mind that I wanted to be the mayor of this beautiful city that we all live, work, play, and respect each other in. That's why I would like to be your mayor. Is that 15 seconds left? That is just very confusing. But what do I like to do in the city of Sugar Land? I love this city because I love town center. When I got elected 6 years ago, that was 50% empty. Today we have BB Italia, Sweet Perry, and many other restaurants. 1 minute.
Good evening. I'm Sugar Land City Council Member Carol McCutcheon. Thank you so much to DTUSA for hosting, and thank you all for being here. I am absolutely passionate about Sugar Land. My husband and I have held Sugar Land home since 1993, and I am running for mayor to keep Sugar Land strong and vibrant. I served on city council for 8 years, and I have worked tirelessly on behalf of the residents here. And I've been a community leader for 31 years, and I want to keep Sugar Land a just incredible, inclusive community for people of all backgrounds to call home. And some of the favorite things that I love about Sugar Land are our great parks, Memorial Park, Brazos River Park, Go Ape Zip Line, and just all the fun things that we have to do here in Sugar Land.
Howdy, Sugar Land. Better. Hey, I'm William Ferguson. Those of you that don't know me, I love the city just like every one of you. The reason I want to be the mayor of this city is this city needs a leader. A leader that's going to take it from its current situation into a bold future. It's going to be a safe future, certainly. I've been a cop for 33 years. I'm just telling you now, it's always going to be safe. It's always our priority. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to make, like we're doing now, we're going to take some bold steps with our future. We want what is best in retail. We want what is best in living. We want what is best in entertainment. And you need a leader to take you there. What do I like the most about the city? It's real simple. We are 15 or 20 years ahead of every other city in this county because great men and women made very bold decisions years ago to put an airport, Constellation built, Smart Financial. They built everything. And we owe it to them to keep this movement up and make this city just as bold and best as we can. Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt, Alex. Quick request. Everyone can hold the microphone a little bit closer. It'll help the audience. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
You need to start over. Thank you, everybody, for being here. My name is Alex Sowell. I grew up here in the area, moved back to the area, married my wife here, who we were in the same second grade class together at Austin Parkville Elementary. My family's here. The city is just a wonderful place to be. Now, why am I running for mayor? Because if they can do it, I can do it too, right? Now, I'm a businessman. I have a pizza restaurant, right? I run around Constellation building a pizza costume, high-fiving little kids and passing out pepperoni rolls and pizza, right? What I'm trying to do is talk to the younger generation and say that they can be who they want to be as long as they step up and take action.
Thank you. The second question is also for everyone, and you have 1 minute. It's also a very sweet question. In your view, what are the 3 most important responsibilities of a mayor in a town the size of Sugar Land?
So the three would definitely be casting vision. So, okay, sorry, my voice does not project. It's casting vision. The mayor sets the tone for where Sugar Land is going to go. And my vision is one that is in line with future generations because I am raising up the next generation. I'm raising my son. I am thinking about the next generation of Sugarlanders who are going to inherit this wonderful city and make sure that it is just as vibrant and sustainable as ever. The other thing would be safety. So the mayor is got to be responsible for keeping us safe. Sugar Land is one of the safest cities in the nation, and that's our reputation, and we need to keep it that way. And then the last thing that the mayor will help coordinate is relationships with our regional partners, with Fort Bend County, with our neighbors, because we are all stronger together if we are more connected to each other. Thank you.
Can you repeat the question one more time, please?
In your view, what are the three most important responsibilities of a mayor in a town the size of Sugarland?
So the mayor's responsibility is to be the leader. Leadership is defined by Webster's dictionary as the ability to influence the thoughts and actions of others. There's 850 employees plus that work for our city. We've got to make sure that we lead all of our employees in the right direction via our city manager. Financial transparency is very important. City of Sugar Land has a $450 million budget. I run a $1 billion company. I understand how to run big business and how to save money. When we save money, we also save money for the constituents. Development. We've got 4% of land left in the city. As mentioned earlier, we need to take bold steps. We've done a bold step. We're buying the Char House area, and we need to make sure that we develop that. And I've done real estate development. Unlike anyone else on this panel, I understand real estate, and that's why you need a leader like me.
Yeah, first and foremost, the mayor is the leader of the city. So you need someone who is strong and has vision. Okay, hard to hear. Okay, so I'm trying to speak loud. Yeah, so someone who has a strong vision for our city, a strategic vision for our city in order to keep us strong and vibrant. And we have many challenges ahead, like with respect to redevelopment, redeveloping Imperial, redeveloping Lake Point. So you need a strong leader to do that. But at the same time, you need a leader who's going to listen. We want to do the development based on community values. We want to redevelop things and build a future that the citizens want as well. And it's also important to serve the residents. So we were elected to serve you, represent you on council. And so we want to provide high quality of services to you while maintaining the tax rate as low as it can be. Thank you.
I think it's actually the microphone. There we go. There you go. Sorry. Hey, sorry. Repeat the question.
In your view, what are the three most important responsibilities of a mayor in a town the size of Sugarland?
Absolutely. Thank you. So obviously, keep us all safe. Mayor's going to lead our executive team through our city manager, keep our city safe. It's got to always be the top priority. We live next door to Houston, the #1 human trafficking city in the world. We live right next door. We got to keep our city safe. With that said, we've got to lead while we're united. It's important that we're diverse, and I appreciate that. But when it divides us, it's a problem. We've got to come together. As it's been said before, our mayor needs to pull us together always. And while our mayor does those things, the mayor has to set an example. The example should be he or she is a part of this community deeply, not someone that's on the surface level that's disconnected. It's got to be someone that's close to our community and understands our community. That's what I do every day. That's why I want to be a great mayor.
3 things: engage, lead, take action.
I guess you yielded your time to everyone else there. Thank you. Mr. Sowell. Now, what we're going to do is now each candidate will receive a question. Again, we'll start with you, Ms. McKeska. Candidates will have 2 minutes to respond, and others may raise their hands, as we discussed earlier, for a 30-second follow-up to share their perspective or add to the discussion. You don't have to, but if you'd like to, just raise your hand, we'll get you there. And at the end, the first person who started the question may want to do a rebuttal if he or she desires to do so. So I'm going to start with you, ma'am. In your view,
I'll give you a 30-second heads up, like you got 30 seconds left. So then 30 into it, I'll break bell, and then mark over the bell. For rebuttals, it's just gonna be 1 bell.
in your view, what is the most urgent issue in Sugar Land that the mayor and city council should prioritize?
Yes, the most urgent issue is that we have lost 10,000 residents since 2019. And the reason that we have lost 10,000 residents is very simple and very clear. It is lack of affordability. The people who are my age and younger cannot afford to live here. And if we want to attract and draw future generations, if we want Sugar Land to continue to be vibrant and strong, we need to end the redevelopment plans, not just create luxury condos. We need to have affordable housing. We need to have rent control. Our local businesses cannot stay afloat here. And so we need to be in negotiation with landlords and tenants and get that to an achievable goal. Because again, we want our community to thrive and to be sustainable for the next generations. And that's going to require stable housing and money kept within the community through small and local businesses. And so I have a plan, which is affordable housing in those development areas, in the redevelopment areas, and cost rent control for our communities so that we can have vibrant, small businesses, unique businesses here in Sugar Land that will be a draw and that will attract future residents to Sugar Land. Thank you.
So in 30 seconds, we've got to develop Imperial, we've got to develop in Lake Point. These areas shouldn't have low-income housing, but they should have what we call the middle housing. That's what's missing in Sugar Land. The 26 to 40-year-old young folks have left our city. They go to Edo, they go to Katy. They don't want to live in Sugar Land because we don't have small format homes. And I'm not saying trailer parks. I'm saying small format, 2,000 square foot, no big backyard.
Yes, the redevelopment of Imperial is our first and foremost priority. We need to save the chart house, preserve it for the future, then get a developer, a master developer to come up with an exceptional vision for the site. And this exceptional vision is going to include some middle housing, so to provide some more housing options to bring our young professionals here, along with some fun restaurants and retail and public spaces for everyone to make a really warm, inviting environment and provide those extra choices.
Okay, we're moving on to the next question, and this is for Councillor Kermali. Transparency was a major concern with the proposed power plant, where some residents felt the city was not being upfront enough. As mayor, how will you ensure transparency in all government policies and initiatives?
Very good. And I'm going to start by saying, as an elected official, you elect us because you put us in office. There are certain things that city council does that is not always in the eye of the public. When you buy a house, you don't buy the first house you see, you do due diligence. And due diligence is what we had asked the developer to do when it comes to the power plant. Nothing more than due diligence. What you see on social media is not true. Don't believe everything you see on social media. There's 3 of us that will vouch for that are sitting up here. Transparency is important. Financial transparency is even more important, which are open records. With the power plant, unfortunately, it was leaked to the Houston Chronicle that we have a timeline that's going to be happening. It's not true. The only thing that was authorized by city council was to do due diligence. We will always listen to the citizens, and I, as your mayor, will make sure that task force are formed, not at the city manager level, but at my level. Citizens task force reporting to the mayor so we can find out, this is what you want in Imperial? Are we going to consider a power plant? I'm telling you right now, I will never consider a power plant under my administration. Put that on record. I won't allow one to come in to this beautiful city where 75,000 residents very close to home. So that means I have 30 seconds left? Still confused. My bottom line is my office is always going to be open. I'll say it now and I'm going to say it later. For the next 9 months, I'm going to plant myself at City Hall. I don't need to work. I'm going to plant myself there and wedge myself into every department head meeting that there is to make sure I understand what is happening in the City Hall. And I may take a vacation in there, so don't worry about that. but I will plant myself for the next 9 months in City Hall.
Yes, with regard to the power plant, yes, I absolutely do not support the power plant inside Sugar Land city limits. We cannot hear you. Okay, I'll put down my face. Okay, I'll try this. Okay, can I start over? Okay, about this. Okay, great. I do not support a power plant in the city limits, although I think it's something that would be useful, in other remote areas of Texas, but not here inside our city limits. But with respect to how it was handled, it was on the consent agenda, right above the minutes. And I think it would have been much better if it had been discussed during a workshop item so that everyone would have known that, yes, this is just due diligence. We're not approving anything. We're just allowing them the opportunity to do some environmental studies.
I'll take 30 seconds. Affordable housing was mentioned earlier. The city of Sugar Land is affordable housing. We're 0.35 per 100. City of Richmond is 0.4. Missouri City is 0.58. Houston is 0.56 per 100. We are the second most affordable city in the state of Texas. Now, with that said, we don't control the ISD. Going to the power plant, I want to be real clear. When we lost our power the last time and I was delivering gasoline at night to the elderly in our community because we did not have a grid.
I think
in
we
our
ran out
power.
of time on that.
Okay.
You may want to come back later at the closing. Thank you so much for being, yes, go ahead.
Just wanted to respond. So this is the second time that y'all have mentioned this in committee. This was not something that was going forward. My question is, this wasn't on social media where I saw the information about the power plant. It was on Sugar Land government's website. It said that the permits were complete, they were done, and that it was almost a done deal. So again, this is either a gross miscommunication issue, but in terms of leaking, we just went to the Sugar Land website and read about it. So there was no issue there.
Thank you. Can we go? I think you get one chance and otherwise we'll be here all evening. Trust me. Thank you again. And we're going to go to the next question now. And we're going to start with Ms. Ketchen. It's a long question. Just listen to this carefully. It's very important for Texas, for Sugar Land. As mayor, do you believe a small Texas city like Sugar Land can influence international affairs? If so, how? Are there specific global issues or events that the city should focus on? And it goes on to make a comment. We have seen activists in the past attempt to get city councils, both here in Sugar Land and in other cities, to pass resolutions on controversial foreign issues that have minimal relevance to the city, whether it's Israel and Palestine, where there's political issues in India, and the list can go on and on and on, international affairs. If you were elected mayor, would you consider these resolutions as part of city council business or something that is out of scope for the city to consider?
Okay. Okay. As the next mayor, I would keep it to how we do it now. Basically, the city council is there during council meetings to conduct the business of the city of Sugar Land. That is why we are there. We do not have any jurisdiction over international affairs. And if we open things up to that, there is an unlimited number of international affairs that we could involve ourselves in. But, Netanyahu or people like that, they are not going to care if Sugar Land enacts a city resolution doing something. If someone wants to try to influence that, they should go to, Congressman Fletcher, Congressman Nels, or someone at the federal level. So as city council, we need to focus on things that are going to benefit our residents here in Sugar Land to keep our city great, keep our city strong, keep our city safe, and not try to get into international affairs over which we have no jurisdiction. And plus, when you get into international affairs, you try to take sides with the resolution, it can be perceived by the residents as we're trying to divide the community. And I want to keep Sugar Land just a wonderful, inclusive community where people of all backgrounds feel welcome, want to call it home, and not get into international politics.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead. Got 30 seconds.
So I agree that we're not gonna change Netanyahu's mind, but we say those things for the residents who live in Sugar Land, who are Palestinians, who have lost their family members. I think that they might think about that a little bit differently.
So as a, go ahead, please. Yes, sir.
So when I won my last two elections, nobody outside of Sugar Land voted for me. I am not here to work for anybody outside of Sugar Land. I'm here to make sure you get water in and out of your house, police, fire, and EMS, and we're going to develop this city. I'm not here for international matters.
Councilor Kamali?
Just look around this room. Look to your right, look to your left. You see white, Asian, Indian, Pakistani. We've got the United Nations sitting right here. We live in Sugar Land. You're here because you love this city, taking time out from a Thursday evening to come out and listen to your next mayor. Bottom line is, we, as William said, and I'll agree with him, as William said, we are responsible to you, the citizens of the city of Sugar Land.
And I think as a moderator, I just want to make another comment on that. Ms. McKeska, I think my question was, would it be as a resolution from the city? This is a democratic country. You can have peaceful demonstrations, bring out those placards and do anything. But is it the city's responsibility to come out with a resolution saying we condemn this or we accept this, etc.? That was the question. So I guess I've got all the answers. Did you have anything to say about that?
I do believe that the city is not just the leader of our city. I think that our world is getting smaller and smaller, and that we are all interconnected, and that our international residents have family members who live all across the world, and things are happening to them. And if we can't speak up against the atrocities that are happening across the world, what can we speak up about?
Okay, thank you. We're going to go to the next question. Ms. Yu is going to ask.
So now we're moving on to public safety and infrastructure. What do you see as, and it is for Councilor Ferguson, what do you see as Sugar Land's most pressing concern when it comes to public safety? And how would you address it?
We're good. That's what I see. Our public safety's our fire department's top 3% in the nation. Our police and fire stay up top in our state. We're one of very few cities in the state of Texas that can provide a blood transfusion from an ambulance. I think we got public safety. We got it pretty good. Now, we're building a training center for both police and fire. We're not ever going to stop that. Anything our police chief and our fire chief need, we certainly are going to consider it, and most likely they're going to get it because it's going to ensure that our citizens are going to be safe. And so the training, the firearms, the equipment, the drones, the dogs, the bikes, everything, we're never going to stop that. So for you or anyone to say, what is my most pressing concern in public safety? It's just staying focused on it. We've got a lot to think about right now, and we're already in a sweet spot with public safety, and it's easy to forget how good you have it until you realize who your neighbors are and outside of our city and what they suffer with. We'll just stay focused.
Please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me now? All right. So I listened to Mark Poland speak about what he does for the city as the assistant city manager, right? And he came in and applied pillars for the police department and turned that department around to where it's a top-notch group of people. Now, one of the concerns is animal control, right? So for public safety, if you're walking around your neighborhood and there's a stray dog that comes around to you and nips at you, right? You're not in a safe position when that dog comes around you, right? I saw this firsthand behind AMC 24 when I rescued these two dogs. I called these services, right? I called the non-emergency hotline, and they were able to chip the dogs and get the dogs back home safely.
Thank you. Yeah, please be mindful of the bell. so that I don't raise this
Sorry, I
again.
can't hear. My hearing aids out.
Okay, well, yeah, maybe you can clap, can't hear anything. Thank you. You had a comment, with Carol, did you? And then Ms. Karbali.
Yes, public safety is my number one priority, and as the next mayor, I will continue to make sure that that is the top priority. So Sugar Land remains just a great place to live, work, and raise a family. And it is important for the police officers to have the equipment, training, and resources they need to keep themselves safe, so they can then in turn keep us safe. And another area that we have been expanding into is mental health training for police officers, because not everyone who encounters a police officer is a criminal. Some have mental health issues that need to be addressed.
The Finest and Bravest Foundation, how many of you all have heard of what the Finest and Bravest Foundation is? Just about 4 or 5, and they're candidates up here running. So that's why. They support our police and fire department where the city council budget cannot always. Yes, we will always make sure they get anything and everything that they want. But the Finest and Bravest Foundation came to me and said, Nishad, let's go out and raise some money. I was the only candidate up here that was able to raise $25,000 from friends and family to get them $400,000 of net proceeds.
Thank you. I guess we can go to the next question. Mr. Alex Solo, what steps will you take to maintain and improve critical utilities like water, electricity, drainage, flood control, and how will you address environmental concerns such as air quality and green space preservation?
Beautiful question. Thank you for selecting that one for me. What I would do first is go look at the city reports, right? We have wonderful people who are already actively looking at these problems, right? So I go to the subject matter experts, right? Ask them what are the problems that they've reported on? What are the problems that they've already reported to the city? What are they currently doing to fix those problems, right? And define the problem, right? Measure it, analyze it, improve it, we control it.
Anyone else wants to take that? Yes, ma'am.
In the November 2019 bond election, we approved $35 billion for drainage projects to help prevent flooding in our city.
Yeah, we may need too much.
Okay. In the November 2019 bond election, residents approved $35 million for additional drainage projects to help keep our city from flooding and to reduce ponding during heavy rainfall events. Back during Hurricane Harvey, we lost 200 feet of Memorial Park. So we worked with about 20 governmental agencies to get approximately $42 million of funding between Fort Bend County and the city of Sugar Land from the Texas General Land Office to work on preventing Brazos River erosion in the future.
I do think that the city has done a wonderful job in flood mitigation, especially with Hurricane Harvey. My house was spared. Now, there were people a couple of streets down that were not. I think that funding and maintaining our levee system is incredibly important. What I will add and say is I think that there's room for community involvement, getting Sugar Land residents invested in environmental sustainability. This includes building bioswales, which is putting native grass near parking lots to address flooding and mitigation.
Thank you very much. And now, as 7 questions are up, we're going to do that fun part of pulling out the envelope. May I have y'all look at envelope number 1? And yes, in your hand, you have envelope number 1. And you got a pen right in front of you. And if you don't mind writing that answer down, and Ashish is going to come and pick those envelopes. And after the next question is over, we're actually going to read the question for the audience and read out each one's answer. While you do that, I just want to explain to people who came late. These questions are, we all love Sugar Land. I want to know our next mayor, how well does she or he actually know Sugar Land? So these are fun questions, simple questions. And there's no right answer. Well, actually, there is a right answer, but there's no wrong answer either.
They're all the same.
The same question. Same question. Okay, and so we're going to let him get ready to read them out, and I'll go with the next question, and Julie's going to ask that next question.
The next question, we're back to Ms. McKeska. How will you address traffic congestion and road infrastructure in Sugar Land? And can you talk a little bit about the gondolas and ferry ports that the city has been discussing?
Yes, I can talk about that. So right now we have several places that are under construction, which is contributing to traffic. I do think that the long-term benefits will be there. However, I think that we should continue to look into more accessible public transportation. We've gotten started with the Sugar Land Via program, which I think is wonderful. I think it's great that it's affordable for people, but we need to do more. We should have regional transit so that we can have travel between Richmond, Sugar Land, Stafford. All of these people are connected. We're all connected to each other. We should have transit where people can travel there as well. In terms of the sky gondolas, I don't know much about a sky gondola, but I think that we should look at all the creative solutions that we can, as long as they're feasible. My concern with the sky gondolas is that actually feasible for Sugar Land, and how will that be implemented? And again, I think that is in the early processes, so there may not be answers to that question. I do think that we can do rail and other solutions that are not linked to metro, and that we can even have electronic scooters for our younger people who might be more willing to use those. But getting the cars off the roads, that's got to be the goal, so that we can decrease the congestion in traffic.
Traffic congestion is gonna happen between the hours of 7:30 and 9:30. It's gonna happen. Start my timer over. It was you.
I'm a moderator.
Okay. All right, you're gonna start my time over, right? I'm watching you. What was the question? Oh, yeah, I started. We're gonna have traffic. Traffic, when you drop off kids at school and school starts at 8, you're gonna have traffic at 7:30 in the morning, 7:15 in the morning. There are certain times of the day traffic's gonna happen, but we're widening University Boulevard. We're fixing 59 because that 59, if we don't fix it today, it's gonna fall into that Brazos River. We're expanding the lanes out. You don't want that bridge to fall in, or you'll never make it to Richmond Rosenberg. Why you would want to go to Richmond Rosenberg, I don't know. We're expanding Grand Parkway. It's important to expand the Grand Parkway. We are gonna do the things that make mobility move us.
Okay, traffic mobility is the #1 issue of our residents. As I said, we're finishing up the widening of University Boulevard. We're using the latest traffic technology so that the traffic lights can actually communicate with each other to change the signals so it'll be optimized for the traffic conditions at that exact time, as opposed to a set schedule. I love the micro transit that we're doing in the 18 square mile pilot area, free for the first month and then $2 after that. It's a great idea. I do not support spending $120 million on a 4.5 mile gondola.
Watch this. Does it work? Should work. All right. Hey, we got a few seconds here. I want to be real clear. I never want to see a metro bus running in Sugar Land, ever. I think our mobility is already a problem enough. Last thing I need is buses all over the place. I'm looking at any vision idea that's affordable and efficient. I want to look at it. If it's a gondola system that's paid for by the private industry, bring it. If it's WISP, bring it. I will not support metro in our city.
So the gondola would be awesome at Constellation Field, right? Connecting the entertainment venues together, right? Just imagine a gondola from Constellation Field going over to the sugar factory complex. That'd be amazing, right?
Well, I'm going to call Ashish back out here. Sir, where are you? And he's going to read the question that we posed to all our candidates, and he's going to, and before he actually gives the answer, I'm going to ask the same question to y'all, and maybe one or two can answer there. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Question is really simple, and it's fun actually. What is the population of city of Sugar Land based on the most recent census? Simple.
You said, you got my say 109?
109,000. 110,477. 106,477.
All right, this is getting tougher now. Anyone else? Getting pretty good.
Anyone
No,
else?
all right, so we're gonna read their answers first, and then we'll give out the actual answer that you saw on the US Census.
I don't know what the actual answer
What
is.
that is, what they reported on US.
I'm not a resident of city of Sugar.
Oh, my God. Okay,
I get a pass.
let's do it.
So,
When you see.
but the good news is all the candidates got the answer very, very close to each other. So they all, I would say they all have the right answer. If you want me to speak it out, I'll say it, but truly they are. So 110,000 by Michelle, 115,230 by Narshad, 111,000 by Carol, approximately, I don't miss the tilde sign. 115,000-ish by William, and 110,288 by Alex. I don't know, you guys.
In 2023, Sugar Land had a population of 110,000. I mean, this latest. Yes, and that had a different number. Yeah, well, it was about 118,000, if I'm not mistaken. That's why we talked about the 10% people disappearing. Anyway, well, I'm glad you guys were so close to it. The problem is this is not Price is Right, and we can't give you anything, or else we would have. Let's go on to our next question: economic development and housing. And I think it's going to go back to you, yeah, Mr. Karmali. Since that, again, this may be a question that someone may have answered, but I'm going to let you give it a shot again. Since 2019, the city's population has dropped by nearly 10,000 residents, a loss of about 8% of its population, according to the US Census Bureau. Why are the younger people who have, like my kids, they went to they were born, they went to Fort Bend ISD schools, then they all disappeared and went to Austin. One went to New York, one went to California. One I could grab and keep her here, but they don't want to come back. How are we going to then make these youngsters come back out here? What kind of incentives or programs will you create as a mayor to retain young professionals or attract young professionals to our lovely city?
All right, I love this question because I've got a 26-year-old, I've got a 24-year-old, and I've got a 22-year-old. They all went to college, from Penn State to SMU to Austin College. And guess what, Subodh? Mine all came back to Sugar Land. They all live at home with me. I'm blessed to have all three of them, but they're smart because they're saving their money. But the answer is truly, my oldest son, Adam, will say, Dad, Sugar Land sucks for a 26-year-old. I don't think it does. Remember, I said I love this city. For that 26 to 40-year-old, we're missing, and I answered this question a little bit earlier, we're missing the middle housing. We're missing the 1,200 square foot, 2,000 square foot, no backyard, no front yard. We're missing the condos. We're missing the apartments that are along Allen Parkway in the energy corridor. They drive up, if you go to the Allen Parkway to the Thompson's Hotel, you drive up and a valet driver takes your car and parks it for you, brings your groceries upstairs. Why don't we have that in Sugar Land? People can afford it in Sugar Land. They definitely can, especially these younger folks that earn six figures. They have expendable dollars. Now, do we need all the valet and all that? Absolutely not. Do we need quality housing for these young people to live in? Absolutely. It's called the missing middle. And that's what we feel is needed in Imperial. This is what's needed in Lake Point. And then people will say there's traffic. Does that mean I have 30 seconds left? Thank you. Then people are going to say there's going to be traffic congestion. Yes, it comes with it. However, not everyone goes to work. People work from home. People work from coffee shops. People work 3 days at the office and 2 days at home. Traffic congestion can happen, but we need to bring back that population that we have lost and we will continue to lose unless we do something for the young 26 to 40-year-old patron.
So
this month I'll turn 39. I have 3 homes in Sugar Land. I have a growing business and I'm the Pete's partner for the Space Cowboys, right? I have 2 young kids who live at home with me, but that's because they're 7 and 2, right? So when I look at Sugar Land, I came back because my family's here. My grandparents are here, my parents are here, my wife's family's here, right? I came back because family was here. Now, I didn't have the luxury of being able to move into my father's home, but my father did give me the opportunity to save some money living with him.
Go ahead, Ms. Carol.
Okay, as the next mayor, I would focus on bringing businesses into our city. I would offer tax abatements, tax incentives, and bring in these great businesses here. And you bring in new businesses, that's going to help attract young professionals as well. So it's very important to do that. Now, recently, we brought in Plug and Play. It is one of the top incubator facilities around, and that's going to, I think, generate some really great business ideas, synergistic with corporations, governments, and bring in young people and get some new businesses that way.
Right now, Sugar Land has 11 apartment complexes, including 3 55 or older. They're at 98% occupied. There's nowhere for them to live. There's no entertainment for young people, except for this guy. There's nothing for them to do here. My daughter doesn't even live here. I'd love to get her to come back. They need jobs, entertainment, they need retail. They are the consumers of tomorrow. We need to get them back, and we can do it. It's happening across the street right now.
Yes, so I agree with Carol on bringing in businesses. I just want to add, I think that there is an opportunity to encourage small businesses and unique businesses. The reason people go to Austin is because Austin has a strong city identity. Sugar Land needs that. Sugar Land's a great city, but it doesn't have a strong city identity, and that's something that small business owners, our own residents, can bring to the table as artists and creators. We can create that identity where people want to come and live.
Thank you very much.
The next question is for Councilor McCutcheon. Will you commit to keeping property taxes low while ensuring quality city services as mayor?
Well, the November 2019 bond election that passed with voter approval, it will raise the tax rate over the next 5 to 7 years. So that's part of that because it's a $350 million bond election. So the tax rate is going to go up for that component for capital improvements. But now, as far as the maintenance and operations, yes, I will commit to keeping that portion as low as it can possibly be. It's very important for us to continue to efficiently deliver the services and keep the tax rate as low as we can so that we can help keep Sugar Land as affordable as possible. So, our tax rate is about 35 cents per $100. It's one of the lowest property tax rates in the entire state. Pearland, in contrast, is 63.5 cents per $100. So it's about 80% higher than what we are. So we do a really good job, I think, on efficiently providing services for our residents.
Councilor Ferguson, go ahead.
Do me a favor, only because I heard half of your question. I think I know what it is. Would you just state it again?
Will you commit to keeping property taxes low while ensuring quality city services?
Yeah, absolutely. To what Carol said, 100%. We're going to always do that. We're in a sweet spot between our businesses and our residential. Missouri City, for example, is a bedroom community. We are not. We have a very strong business market. I'm sorry about the microphone. I apologize. But we will absolutely keep it as low as possible with the services that the people want.
We have a card that we can utilize in city council. It's called the homestead exemption. And I'm going to make sure that if we do need to raise your taxes, that we will utilize the homestead exemption to increase that to offset. As Carol mentioned, yes, your taxes are going up, but you approved it. You approved the $350 million, and it's going to go up. As we need the money, we'll take a penny and we'll raise it. But a homestead exemption is the key to utilize in order to balance out the 1 cent or 2 cents that I may need.
Yes, homestead exemption, I was gonna mention increasing that as well, and also, the elderly discount for property taxes. We don't want to price out, the elderly in our community.
I got the homestead exemption, a deep increase from where it was to where it is now. And I would love to continue to increase that from 15% it is now up to 20%. We were going to put a plan in place to do that, but then we had COVID come along and we just weren't able to do that. And we've had a lot of price inflation, but I really would like to increase the homestead exemption up to 20%. And then we have, like I said, our age 65 exemption in place.
Thank you. We're gonna go to, I think the round is up. That was the last. So it's, that was the rebuttal to the last one. I'm gonna go to the next question. Thank you very much. If you raise your hand, you get it before the person who does the last rebuttal. Mr. Ferguson, it starts with you this time. How will you balance economic growth with maintaining Sugar Land's small town charm? What strategies will you implement to attract new businesses and retain the existing one?
So we need to be honest with each other. Small town charm isn't Mayberry anymore, okay? It's not gonna happen. So here's what will happen. We will be able to protect our neighborhood's density while outside of our neighborhoods where we're going to be living and working and the entertainment and the retail, that density's going up, period. There is no way to deceive you and say otherwise. If you want the retail improvements that I want, it's going to require a density increase outside of our neighborhoods. So enjoy your homes. We're not touching your homes. In fact, we're helping you improve your homes as a city. But I can assure you, there's no clear way to say this will ever be Mayberry ever again, because Sugar Land's grown up like a big boy, okay? So if I may, do I have another minute, another second? Going back to the homestead exemption, guys, this is very important, and we've already capitalized on our homestead exemption, and we'll do what we need to extend that. But remember, our businesses start bearing the burden of the absent revenue from our homes. When we increase homestead exemption, our businesses have to carry. So we have to find a balance also for our businesses, because we don't want them to suffer and leave.
So to follow up on Williams, right? As a business owner, right, I have to pay sales and use tax, right? I also have to pay property tax as a homeowner and someone who rents out their home at economical rates, right? I have to be smart about how I budget, right? How I prepare to present my property to somebody and encourage them to rent from me, right? While covering all of my principal, interest, tax, and insurance, right? Imagine having to come up with $9,600 to pay for your property tax. That's real.
It's real. I have the same problem, but you know, I live in Sugar Land also. We did have 30 seconds. How will you balance economic growth with maintaining Sugar Land's small town charm? And what strategies will you implement to attract new businesses and retain existing ones?
We've got to bring in big businesses. We've got to bring in small businesses. Tax incentives will be there for big businesses wanting to come in and take over the Sugar Land Town Square office buildings there. They're empty. We've got a lot of empty space there. We've got a lot of office empty space. We've got different office spaces that are empty all throughout the city. We need to fill these up so businesses can thrive here. Developers need to lower their rent. I'm going to work to make sure that we have incentives available for these businesses to bring in people so they can come and eat at our restaurants and at our bars and others.
It's important to attract small businesses to our city. And one thing that we did as a city recently that I really am excited about is we have a partnership now that commercial businesses can apply for, small businesses, and they can partner with the city on doing different exterior improvements to their businesses. And so if the businesses, these retail centers get like a facelift and some fun little, green spaces and benches and stuff to attract them, I think that's going to really help.
Anyone else? Alex, you're gonna be going next for the first, next question. What new neighborhoods, I'm sorry, Ju is gonna do that. I keep taking her, time.
Hi, Alex. The question is, new neighborhoods will be developed and redeveloped. What specific policies or safeguards will you put in place to ensure accountability and prevent self-dealing in real estate development?
Well, I think you have to have full disclosure of who is working on the development of those areas, right? Now, I'm all for 55 plus, right? As a young man in this community, right, I feel safer around those who are over the age of 55, right? Safe next to this guy. But, you know, you have to have full transparency, right? Everybody has to know who's a part of the deal, right? We can't grease pockets unless it's a pepperoni roll going in those pockets. I love this guy.
Hey, so, how do we, ensure that they're gonna be great developments? We have a land use plan. We have planning and zoning for that. Everything is going to happen the way we've envisioned it, the way our forefathers, if I may, have set in place. There's nothing happening in Sugar Land that's gonna take away, guys. This is Sugar Land. We got this.
One reason that Sugar Land is just a really rare gem, I think, is because of our planning and zoning. And so along with that, we've got our land use plan, and let's talk about the land use plan, quite some time, 5 years.
Can't hear you.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. So anyway, Sugar Land is a rare gem.
Take another microphone.
Yay. Thank you.
Okay, this will work. Now it's on. Okay, third time. Third time is the charm here. That Sugar Land is a rare gem. And one reason it is because of the planning and zoning that we have in place. Because if it wasn't, it would look like Houston that doesn't have that kind of planning and zoning. And we also have the land use plan that the Land Use Advisory Committee worked on for about 5 years. And I was a part of that. And that laid out the plans for the city for the next 20 to 25 years with respect to land use. So I think we've got it covered here.
I'm going to agree here, and I was also a part over a year of the Lake Point development redistricting to understand what developers need in that Lake Point area, what the citizens need in the Lake Point area, and what we as City Council and Planning and Zoning want in that area. So we've rewritten the rules for Lake Point so that way we can have a proper developer come in when that land is bought and then make it a beautiful development with what we as the citizens want in there as well. And I will have that task force for you all to participate.
Yeah, with everything they said, I agree. The one example that I will give is in my district, District 3, there are a lot of vacant homes that are empty and they are rented by corporations. So whatever goes into the redevelopment plan in Lake Point and Imperial, I would hope that there is a caveat to make sure that corporations don't get to buy up a lot of this land, that the rent can stay affordable for people, and so that we can have that transparency.
Thank you. What we're gonna do is envelope number 2. Let's open that one now. Another fun question, simple one, really easy answer. And once you put that answer down, give it to Mr. Ashish, and we're gonna see if anyone else in the audience knows this answer. I bet y'all half of you should know this answer. Who? I think so. I hope so. All right, Ashish, read that. Oh, sorry, let's give them 15 seconds.
Which year was the city of Sugar Land incorporated?
What year was the city of Sugar Land incorporated? Councilman Jaju, you're exempt. You can answer that one. Anyone want to take a chance? 1959. 29? Who said 29? 29? Okay. Well, let's get the real answer. What do you think?
years old.
Okay, what's the real answer? Okay, yeah, all right, let's see.
You guessed the answer. Don't ring the bell.
He's, you wanna read it out?
1959. Alex, 1959. William, 1959. Naushad, 1959, and he tried to do some math here. Michelle, it is not 19.
Well, thank you again for participating in that, and y'all too. So let's go to the next question, and this goes to Ms. McKeska. What's your stance on high-density housing and its impact on Sugar Land's character?
I think that there is a way to do it responsibly. And again, high density, I think we're looking for in medium density in these developments like Lake Point and Imperial, middle income housing. And there is a way to make these areas very walkable so that it does not increase traffic, so that these become destination centers within Sugar Land itself. And so if this is the place where you live, you shop, and you eat, then traffic is not a concern to you. And then again, Sugar Land should also create some way to get a public transit to these new centers, because they're gonna be a big draw for not just those residents in Lake Point and Imperial to enjoy, but also the rest of Sugar Land itself.
Good.
How many of you know where the Constellation baseball field is? Raise your hand. You've seen the apartments in and around there? That's what I'm talking about. How many of you know where the Costco is in Sugar Land? Right across the street, called the Telfair Lofts. That's what I'm talking about. They're beautiful properties. There's nothing wrong with those. There's no crime, folks, that happen in those things. People think apartments bring crime. Not here. These are $2,400 units. William just said they're at 97% occupancy.
I think it's important to balance growth and development with maintaining just a wonderful suburban atmosphere that everyone loves to call home. That being said, that doesn't mean that we can't bring additional apartments into the city, which we will do, and additional middle housing. We just need to, like I said, keep it in balance and not try to, create this ultra high density that would try to turn areas into what people are concerned about, like a mini Houston. But that's not the plan. It's to be more of a moderate density in select areas, so we can still maintain that suburban charm.
So always turning it on. Hey, so I hear this all the time about, hey, we want to be walkable. I'll be honest with you. I can look around this room right now. I'm thinking none of you walked here. Okay. And if you lived in the Woodlands, you might have some retail you can walk to. You live in the Pearl in San Antonio, you can walk within that. Our racks will never be walkable from First Colony to Lake Point unless you're brave. I'll be honest with you. I ride the MS 150 and I'm not brave enough anymore to ride on these roads. It's not walkable.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
I agree with certain areas, right? 59, Highway 6. But I do think we have to be careful on widening which roads that started out residential and then now they are no longer walkable. So I think that we can create strategic walkable places and then connect with public transit those that are not.
Thank you. We're going to go to the next question, and it's going to be directed to Mr. Naushad Karmali. Education and youth engagement. I moved to Sugar Land many years, 33 years ago. And I lived in New York, enjoyed it. Lived in Lubbock, really enjoyed it. And I had an offer that I could not refuse. But I had a wife who would leave me if I took that offer, because she wanted to move to Sugar Land for the school district. So here's the question, Mr. Karmali. How would you collaborate with Fort Bend ISD Board of Trustees to improve educational outcomes, ensure high-quality schools, to attract young families with little children, like I got attracted when my kids were young?
Thank you. Great question. And people think that FBISD and City of Sugar Land are two separate entities. You're right. but we all live in the same city. It's interconnected. I have a relationship with Dr. Mark Smith today, our superintendent. I know Rick Garcia. I know Kristen Casson. I know the board. I can text them and they will respond back to me. I think it's important, very important, that the mayor has a relationship with FBISD. I think it's important that the mayor has a relationship with all the hospital CEOs. I just had breakfast with the CEO of Methodist Hospital this morning. It's important to sit outside and work outside the aisle with other partners, because at the end of the day, they are in Sugar Land. We are in Sugar Land. We share different budgets, but it's important that I work with the school board members, the superintendents, and everyone underneath the superintendents in collaboration for our future, to make sure that kids don't and families don't move to Katy because their school district is better or Lamar is better. No, we're gonna make sure that people are not leaving FBISD.
So part of what he said, I actually agree with. We're not the ISD at all. We don't have anything to do with the ISD. We can call Mark Smith and have lunch with him next week. But here's the deal, guys. It is the responsibility of the city to not overbuild and overwhelm the ISD. But it's also our responsibility to build a strong enough economy that brings the jobs and the housing that the young people that are in these schools, they can thrive. And that's what Sugar Land has done and will always do.
So I get invited out to speak at career days at the local elementary schools and middle schools, right? And I ask the kids, who do you want to be when you grow up, right? Because when I was a kid, it was, let's be the president of the United States of America, right? And I still hear that from some kids. I hear the YouTuber, I hear doctors, lawyer, soccer players, right? They want to be the next Messi, right? We have wonderful kids in the school district, right? We got to make sure that we train the kids to be wonderful citizens of Sugar Land.
As I believe I'm the only former teacher amongst this group, this is a very passionate topic for me. Investing in children and investing in education is literally investing in the future. It is absolutely the mayor's prerogative to make sure that our schools are strong, because that is directly going to impact the city's future. And as a teacher, I will be able to go into those spaces and understand immediately what those needs are. I'll be able to talk to the teachers and the parents and be able to get everyone at the table working together.
Ms. Carroll.
People are attracted to Sugar Land because of the great schools, and it's really important that we continue to keep them that way. City Hall and Fort Bend ISD admin are less than a mile apart. And in the past, City Council and the School Board of Trustees have had some joint informal meetings together in the cane room at City Hall. And I think it would be good to bring those back so we can have those conversations going, so we can find out how we can support FBISD as well as LCISD and keep our schools really, really strong, because it's very important to invest in our young people.
And I would agree. The budget that y'all have is 450 million. Guess what the budget the school district have? They have double the budget. I think it's extreme. I'm glad to hear everyone agrees that it's very important to collaborate, although you cannot influence them directly because it comes from Austin, but definitely you can collaborate and work together. So I'm glad to hear that answer. Thank you very much.
You guys took my mic.
Sorry, it was me, not them. It was my fault.
This next question is for Councilor McCutcheon. Sugar Land is one of the most diverse cities in Texas. How will you ensure inclusivity in city policies and services, and ensure that the voices of all residents are heard when you're mayor in your administration?
Yes, Sugar Land is just a wonderful place is very diverse, very inclusive. And I think it's important that we have our boards, commissions, task forces reflect the diversity of our city, and also that our police force, firefighters also reflect that diversity. And we have wonderful events that we hold that everybody can celebrate. We have the International Art and Kite Festival. We've got the Christmas tree lighting, and then so many of the different groups will have all sorts of fun Diwalis and iftars for us to go to. I mean, just in like 24 hours of the other day, I was at a Hindu temple one night. I was at a non-denominational church the next morning. I was at an Eid celebration that afternoon. I was on a Zoom meeting with the Chinese American community. And then I was with some Buddhist monks who were awakened Zen masters at a meditation center. So there's really a lot of opportunity for us to get out and engage with the residents from all the different communities to let them know that we are here to support them and let us know who we are, so they can reach out to us if there are some ways that we can help them. So we can just keep Sugar Land, like I said, a really welcoming place for all people of backgrounds to call home. But that civic engagement is just a really important component.
Ms. McKesson?
I remember many years ago, Mr. Ashish Agrawal came to me and he said, we need to celebrate Diwali here in Town Center. I worked with Reeves Management and Diwali was celebrated for the first year in Sugar Land Town Center. We celebrated Eid. We celebrated Black History Month just in the month of February. We celebrated Rodeo Houston. We celebrate everything now in the Sugar Land Town Center. It's not City Council that does it, but we do it in conjunction with Reeves Management that has brought in all the nice eateries and everything else.
I think as mayor, one way that I would set myself apart is that I will be going to the religious institutions, and I mean all of the religious institutions. I think that we need to meet the community where they are. For example, I've been going to Mariam Masjid and talking with the community there, and there is this one little tiny road. It's a 1-lane road that needs to be widened, and unfortunately, they're zoned into Fort Bend County, so there's not really much that we can do. But it's issues like this on the ground that the mayor has a responsibility to for all of its citizens.
So probably the most important feeling we need to all have and convey is a sense of respect for each other. And we do that really, really well in Sugar Land. We do it really well already. Everybody has a place at the table if they choose to come to it. We are in their communities every day and we invite them into City Hall every day. I think we all do a really good job now.
And I agree. I mean, the city has been wonderful to people of all backgrounds since I was a little kid, even today. But now I see that it's becoming more balanced, right? People have a voice, people are being heard, people are being seen. And I think that we need to respect everybody's voice, right? And at the same time, we need to make sure that Sugar Land is for everyone.
Thank you. And Mr. Ferguson, I'm going to start with this with you. I heard everyone talking about everyone together, and yet during this election, we have seen some differences. Do you think Sugar Land has recently seen a shift where differences are causing more division, with identity taking precedence over ideas and experience?
I think I've said several times to several people, I have never seen a more divided city than when I hear people of different cultures talking right now in our city. Now, here's the good news. They're going to come right back together. And that's where my hope lies. I can't mend all bridges, but as I sit and go to the different events throughout the city, I am stunned at some of the things I hear. Now, it's not hate. It's just a lack of enthusiasm or excitement for someone of a different culture. And that's not what Sugar Land is. And it goes back to my word earlier, respect. As long as we can always bring it back to respect, we're going to be fine. We're going to recover. We're going to have moments of discontent and dissatisfaction. But we've got to always bring respect to the table. And I really believe that our city will continue to recover to that and maintain that diversity. Because honestly, we're better because of it. But we can't let it divide us. Even now during an election, it's just not good for our long-term city.
Yeah, I get invited to a lot of festivities, right? Obviously, I'm a pizza guy, right? Pizza's for everyone. I've never seen anybody upset when they receive the pizza, right? Unless it was made incorrectly, right? So when we come together, right, we need to break bread together. We need to, enjoy time with one another and enjoy being with each other in the moment, right? And forget about everything else, but just come together knowing that we're all focused on making Sugar Land great again.
Diversity is our strength. Look around the room, as I said earlier. You see any and every walk of life in this room. Being the first Muslim American that was elected as a city council member, following Harish, Imesh, Tom Abraham, we all have a seat at the table. There's nothing wrong with it. As William said, we're going to get over it. I don't know what you all are hearing, but those are the 85% of the people that are going to sit on Facebook and not come out and vote. I encourage everyone to vote and not only have 15% of the population dictate who's your next mayor.
So I believe that it is, again, the mayor is the leader of the city. And if the mayor cannot lead a diverse city, then they shouldn't be mayor. One of the skills that I have from my teaching background is that all of my classrooms were set up as Socratic discussion. So I'm not here to silence any conversation. Even if we don't agree, we can still show respect, be respectful, but not silence people for the sake of unity. I think that we can achieve unity and diversity both.
All right, you want to go for the next one?
Our next category is the environment. And the question is for Alex Sowell. What strategies will you use to enhance the city's resilience to natural disasters and emergencies?
I grew up watching Captain Planet, right? But we all have to put our arms up together and work together, right? So there was one time where I was working selling roofs, right? And I had to tread through the water, right? My own house was getting ready to flood, right? But in a natural disaster, I was walking through the waters and going to help people's roofs and cover them up, right? Protect them, take care of them. All while I didn't know if my house was going to flood or not, right? But we all have to come together, like what William was saying, right? If someone needs gas, take them gas, right? But we got to do it together, right? We all have to band together and for our environment to improve. It's not going to take just the mayor. It's going to take everybody in the city to come together, right? Stop pollution, right? Maybe it's changing the way that we drive. Maybe it's carpooling, right? Maybe it's putting more green space out. But we have wonderful green space all around here, right? You walk outside, I have allergies, so the pollen's a really big issue, right? If you get a headache, right? What do? You take your medicine, right? Well, I think Sugar Land needs their medicine.
I do want to know, now that you're talking about the environment, how much does a pizza oven pollute our community? Not that's a joke. No, I'm joking. Don't worry about it. I just want you guys to know, if you don't know, we are focused on the environment. Our engineers are always working on that. We're known for our green space, our trees and everything. We do a really good job working together after disasters, and we'll keep doing that.
Yes, I would just add that there are also some things that we can do tangibly, like putting air monitors in our city so that we can actually monitor the quality of air. We can do this to make sure that we know, and we can alert people if it's not a good time to go outside. And also take actions, all the other actions to make sure and get that pollution out of our air.
Well, I've asked the city to plant native grasses in Memorial Park, Brazos River Park, because they can absorb water much more than St. Augustine grass and can prevent flooding. And it's also important to continue to plant trees because they take in the CO2 and they breathe out oxygen. So that's great things we can do.
Cullinan Park. It is as big as Central Park in New York City. New York City is polluted. Go to Cullinan Park, take a stroll. It's nature at its finest. Hundreds of species of birds, right here in the city of Sugar Land. Alligators, snakes, it's all there. Mother Nature is gonna get preserved right there. And that is green space that we're gonna have. It's not going anywhere.
Thank you. I'm going to take one question from the audience, which I think is very important for all of us. As you know, three of y'all, and four actually, will be stepping off city council and mayor's chair. So you're going to have three new council members and a new mayor. Is that going to disrupt, or how long is it going to take for everything to gel back again? Because you're going to have three new members.
Actually, four.
Four, because yes. Thank you. And this is for anyone to start off with, and then we can go around down the back.
I'll start. So three of the people sitting to my right worked on a strategic action plan, right? And they set the future through 2027, right? So whoever gets on should look at the strategic action plan and work it to the T, follow it. There's a reason why we have a plan. Take action, execute the plan, and let's fulfill the vision for Sugar Land.
Thank you. Yes, it's about 30 seconds answers. Thank you. No, you can go next, please.
Pizza for all. No, here's the deal. When it changes over, everybody in Sugar Land needs to know this. We are all hoping you make the right decision on all your council members and on your mayor. We are hoping that as well. With that said, we have systems in place in our city that can endure the worst of us. We have systems and an executive team that's going to endure the worst of us. You need to know that. So pick the best of us, and it will only be better, and our team will come back together.
We worked hard to put the strategic action plan in place, which will set the course for the next few years. The voters approved the 2024 bond election, which will be carried out over the next 5 to 7 years. And I have faith in the citizens of Sugar Land that they're going to elect the best candidates to serve on city council, take the baton and run with it.
Said it earlier, leadership is the ability to influence thoughts and actions of others. A good leader is going to work with his 6 other colleagues and make sure that we all get on the same page. One wrong decision because the citizens made it, we can still work with it. 2, 3, 4, doesn't matter, because you all elected these individuals. You all elected us, put us in the place to do the job with a strategic action plan, and we're going to do the best that we can do. And as your mayor, I'm going to make sure I use my business skills to lead this city.
Yes, just to add on to that with the strategic action plan, there's also the Vision 2032, if you guys have looked into that as well. And that was community driven. No counselor, no elected official ever even touched that. This was completely community driven. And so every council member here knows about the Vision 2032, and we are pushing that forward. So the vision for Sugar Land, it already exists. And so we, as your leaders, as your elected officials, will carry that out.
We have another question from the audience. This is for all of you. Tell us how or where you volunteer or serve in Sugar Land apart from your city council positions.
In 2007, I stopped being a full-time police officer. And ever since that day, I volunteer as a police officer. So a total of 33 years. Anytime we need to go volunteer, we do, whether it's a disaster relief, whatever it is. This council is not quiet, and we are not still. We are all working hard in this city and outside of this city. But I got to tell you, it is a great joy to represent the people of Sugar Land while we're out serving.
Yeah, so I created a pizza business, right? But I did to create opportunities for those who need a fresh start, those who need a second start, but most importantly, to raise awareness for the autistic community. And I work with Hope for Three. You know, I work with the Exchange Club. There are a bunch of different other groups, but I get connected through everybody through pizza, right? And one of the things I've been doing is working with the district and providing, you know, fresh made pizza at an affordable price.
One of the things that I do outside of city council is that I'm serving my 32nd term as a homeowners association neighborhood rep. And so that's something that takes a lot of time, and I'm very involved with that.
It's a long list. I can't get it done in 30 seconds. I'm a board member of the Forest Foundation here in the Sugar Land area. I used to serve as a board member for Child Advocates. I was the chairman of the Nizari Credit Union, the Aga Khan Foundation, Youth and Sports Board. I've served in the Health Board, but I also give back locally. I financially support. Almost 100% of the money comes from Norman and I to Fort Bend Education Foundation, the Powers Foundation, Youth and Philanthropy, Child Advocates of Fort Bend, the Art of Fort Bend, Sugar Land Arts Cultural Center, and the Cullinan Park Conservancy. I got them all in.
Yes, so East Fort Bend Human Needs is where I have largely volunteered, partnered a lot with my church, Sweetwater Christian, as well as the Fort Bend Coalition for Justice. And so volunteering and public service is absolutely my #1 priority. And I would absolutely spend more time doing that if I didn't have my little 6-year-old running around.
Thank you so much for all y'all do. This is a little serious question after we come. It's 2 easy ones. It's from the audience again, so I'm going to read it out. This person must have been a doctor because it's as good as my handwriting. We just wait. And you know who that is. The money to fund the acquisition of Char House, we haven't spoken about the Char House yet, will come from sales tax, as I understand, different forums that we've been to. Currently, those sales tax are funding some budgeted line items in the city, right? So what line item will be cut to accommodate the development of the Char House, if any?
So yes, so sales taxes will be used to fund the acquisition of the Char House. So, you know, 6.25% of the sales tax goes to the state, 2 cents of the sales tax goes to the city. So only, so 1/4% of the sales tax goes to the Sugar Land Development Corporation, and 1/4 cent of the sales tax goes to the Sugar Land 4B Corporation. And those funds are specifically earmarked for attracting businesses into the city and improving the quality of life. So those will be used. We'll still have the same 1.5 cents to fund the other sales tax projects.
You won't see any cuts because these are reserved for opportunity dollars that we use in 4A and 4B. We use this 1/4 cent that you just mentioned in order to attract businesses, in order to help the Constellation baseball field and attract the Houston Astros AAA baseball team. We do these type of investments in our community that you probably don't hear about and don't know about because Constellation baseball field has now been there for 12 years. This is the money that has been utilized in the 4A and 4B dollars to acquire the Char House.
So those of you that cycle, you know, right across the street is a pump track. If you're brave enough, ride on it. Anyhow, it's across the street. It was $600,000. It was paid for with the same dollars, corporate dollars, that's paying for the Char House. It's painless to you, and our capacity is great, but they are assigned purposes to those corporate funds, just like Carol just said.
Now, for the development of the Char House property, right, I'd like to see a developer who's going to bring their bucks to the table, right? Spend their money since they're going to be collecting rent and collecting paychecks. I'd like to see them contribute the most. I don't want to see the city of Sugar Land have to pay for the development.
I agree with Alex on that one. I can't speak to the budget, the Sugar Land 4B Corporation, but my question is, what about the development, the build?
Our next question is for all pet owners. How can we make Sugarland even more pet friendly? And it's for all of you, as and when you please. Go,
What is this, a 30-second or 1 minute?
30 seconds.
Okay, we need to move the Sugarland Animal Shelter as close to a no-kill shelter as possible. And the way that we do that, we've already passed a bond to increase capacity, but that is only a short temporary solution. What we need is to address the intake. The way that we address the intake is by marketing and by really ramping up our foster programs. The short story, if I have time, a dog randomly walked into our neighborhood and I brought him in. He's huge, but he's a puppy. And I called the Sugarland Animal Shelter and they said, we're not taking any. So I'm now fostering that dog and we need more people to foster.
Let me be bluntly honest. Our animal shelter has failed us. Our leadership there has failed us. I've seen it firsthand, and we will build an animal shelter. We've got $20 million authorized by you all. We're gonna build this thing. We're gonna build it the right way. We're gonna have citizen input once again. We're gonna raise funds for it, $2 million, and that's what we have written down, that we're gonna raise funds for it. But I will tell you that our animal shelter has failed us. We brought in new leadership just recently with Mark Poland looking over it as the ACM, and I hope to make sure that our four-legged dogs have what they need.
Yes, in 2015, the facilities master study showed that our animal shelter was already insufficient at that time. So here it is 10 years later, and it hasn't happened yet. So I'm very excited that we have $20 million to build an incredible new animal shelter. And as the next mayor, I want to do whatever we can to accelerate that process. It's been very disheartening to me for the animal shelter to be closed day after day, week after week to intake. That is just a really terrible situation, and I want to turn that around. And yes, we need to encourage people to adopt the animals and foster animals, sticking them out of the shelter too.
I can't even express my emotions right now. I am going to look at this camera and tell the animal shelter, you have not failed me. You have not failed me. The citizens of this city need to learn through education how to manage these animals. We need to provide affordable ways to help manage these animals. The people at that shelter work their tail off every day in a almost painful position, and I'm so thankful that the police department is now bringing their management there to manage that shelter.
So to make the city pet friendly, the Space Cowboys have opened up the doors to dogs at the park, right? Bark at the park, right? Have a beer, walk around, sit in the grass with your dog. We have the dog park over there at Memorial Park, right? When people love their dogs, they want to be seen with their dogs, right? Give them an opportunity to go to Sugarland Town Square and put up that portal where we can show off all the pets. Right? Take little, selfies in the park with your dogs.
Okay, we are coming up on the end of our debate. We have two more questions, and they're both for everybody, and they're very nice, sweet questions. Starting with Michelle McKeska. What is one aspect of Sugarland that you wish you knew better? At 30 seconds.
One aspect of Sugarland that I wish I knew better was a bit more about the planning and zoning. I do think that that's one of the reasons why Sugarland is set up for success. And I would love to know more about that process so that we continue to maintain Sugarland as great as a city as it is.
For me, it's very simple. I want to know day to day what the 850 plus people do within our city. Because as a city council member, I don't get involved. I'm going to get involved. I said earlier, I'm going to plant myself there for the first 9 months, and I'm going to work there, and I'm going to put myself in every management meeting there is. I'm going to wedge myself in so I can understand what is happening day to day and where we possibly can save some money for our taxpayers as well. That is what I don't know enough about the city of Sugarland.
Yeah, so city council functions more as the board of directors, so the city manager has an operational responsibility. But yes, I would like to know more about the staff members, or do we have too many staff? Where are some ways that we can cut costs so we can continue to keep the tax rate as low as we possibly can?
As the mayor, it is the responsibility of the city manager to fulfill our vision, our goals, our desires. That's the city manager's job. In this case, it's Mike Goodrum. We're gonna tell Mike what to do, he's gonna do it. I honestly don't need to spend any time below Mike Goodrum. Mike Goodrum, do your job, get paid well, we will reward you. That's where I need to end. My focus needs to be on each one of the voters that put us in there and make sure you're getting what you need out of the machine that people call the government. And I can tell you now, we run as lean as mean as any city in this state, and that's why we're at 0.35, and you have the best police, fire, and EMS. I would probably like to get to know the public works guys a little better.
What is the one aspect of Sugarland that you wish you knew better?
Better pizza.
No, of Sugarland, right? There are many Fort Bend ISD schools in Sugarland, right? I would love to know the inside of each school and better understand each one of the kids that go to school there, right? I found a beautiful way to give back to the community, and out of that, I've gotten invited to participate in career days, right? But each school is surrounded by homes of different kind of people, right? You got north, south, east, west, Sugarland, right? I've been invited to North Sugarland, right? It's different than East Sugarland, right? I want to know all of Sugarland, but I want to know it through the schools.
Thank you. Last question. And again, a fun one, I hope. If you become mayor of Sugarland, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave behind when your term comes to a close?
So I'm not a politician. That's not my background. My background is in education. I'm a mom. I'm an advocate. The legacy that I want to leave is Sugarland being the most inclusive, diverse, and vibrant city that I know its potential can be. I hope that my legacy is that I am open, transparent, and that people in the community feel heard and everyone is included, no matter what their background, no matter what their faith, that everyone feels listened to.
My legacy is very simple. I'm going to be the legend of the people. You're going to remember me of what I did for we the people. I'm always going to listen to you, and I'm going to always be your mouth for you on that dais. So my legend is nothing more than serving you, the people.
When I first ran in 2017, I ran on being the people's voice. And that's something that I will continue to do if elected mayor. I want to be the voice of the people. I'm running on serving, listening, and leading. I want to do so with integrity, accountability, and transparency. And I've got the knowledge, experience, and leadership qualities to do that. Thank you.
So several of the former mayors, they always say, I never think about legacy, ever. They just think about what's doing what is right for the people of the time. Many of them don't even want to look back and claim that. But I got to tell you, I want to be a part of a team that leaves this city in such a great way, in such a great condition, that our children and our grandchildren go, I don't know who put this together, but I am so thankful they did it. It's okay, they never know my name again, but I want to leave a great city for them.
I'd like to be known as the youngest Sugarland Fort Bend ISD product to become the mayor of Sugarland.
And might you add, who also gave pizza to everyone?
It's so easy, he can do it.
Well, okay, a round of applause for all these talented people out there. What a fantastic You're lucky. You've got a fantastic panel. One of you is going to become the mayor and lead this city. I want to really thank you for that. So what we're going to do now is closing statements. 1 minute. I think we're going to give 60 seconds. Is that enough for you? Oh, maybe not, maybe yes. So let's start with Alex this time. We go this way because we've been picking on her all the time. Alex, closing statement. 60 seconds. You can let them talk. This is their moment, and we're going to let them enjoy this. Please go ahead.
I'm honored to be here. The first time that I was ever introduced to this group was tonight, and y'all were warm and loving. So thank you very much for having me here. As far as becoming the next mayor of Sugar Land, I'm excited to be up here, right? I'm energetic, and I'll take action. As a local pizza boy, right? I was 17 when I started working for Double Days. And here I am, 39, right? Creating opportunities for 17-year-olds to do the exact same thing that I'm doing today. But, as a businessman, as a property owner, as a father, as a husband, I think I check everybody's boxes. Well, I do that for pizza too, because I want to make sure that the product that I'm delivering is correct.
Wow, tough to follow this kid. First things I want to say is, Deisha, great work. Deisha, you are leading the way in our community, getting people involved in the community. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Deisha. Now, as the future goes, I want to go back to something Alex just said. It is humbling to sit here and look at your nameplate in front of you, and it says, candidate Sugar Land Mayor. Knowing my honor and respect for this city, that is one of the coolest, most humbling things that you get to stare at all night long, is that nameplate. With that said, I want to live up to this great opportunity in my life. I never dreamed I could be here as a frontline, I stole the word this week, as a frontline sheepdog, like Ed Gordon in the back. We have stood on the front line, and now as a next mayor for your city, it's going to be incredible. You're going to be safe. You're going to be thriving. And at the end of the day, we're all going to get united again, and we're going to just be Sugar Land.
My priorities are public safety, infrastructure revitalization, and redevelopment in harmony with community values. I'm the best candidate for mayor because I have the knowledge, experience, and leadership qualities needed to keep Sugar Land strong and vibrant. I have a track record of getting things done. I am passionate about Sugar Land and have a strategic vision for our city. I value the sense of community that we have here, and I want to keep Sugar Land as a welcoming place for people of all backgrounds to call home. I ask for your vote and support so I can lead this city. So as your next mayor, we can keep a Sugar Land that has a really create a bright future for our city. Thank you.
As a registered nurse for 10 years and then transitioning into the entrepreneurship for the past 25 years, I understand compassion. I understand business. I understand big dollars. I understand small dollars. I understand what the people want. And that is the reason I sit up here and humbly ask for your support as a resident that has given back to this community in so many different ways, whether it's the nonprofits that I've served on, or whether it's the nonprofits that I've supported here locally in the Fort Bend County area. I've served as your mayor pro tem. I've been city council member now for 6 years. I've been a Sugar Land 101 graduate. I've done the Fort Bend Education Foundation. My kids have served as the Mayor's Youth Academy and Police Academy. Me, my family, my lovely wife Norman, and I are fully committed to this city because Nishad loves Sugar Land.
As a Sugar Land resident who was born and raised here, this city has truly shaped who I am, fundamentally. And now I'm raising my 6-year-old son here. I am running for mayor because I care deeply about people. This is a literal investment on my son and all of future Sugar Land residents' future. And I just turned 40 this year, so I'm 1 year older than Alex over there. So I am actually truly invested. I want to make sure that Sugarland stays strong and vibrant and is a place for everyone, where everyone's voices are heard, where I will lead with integrity and compassion. And as your mayor, I will work tirelessly to be transparent and open in all of my communication with you. Thank you.
And before I turn it over to Juby, again, I want to thank all of y'all coming out here today and trying to understand who our next mayor is going to be. And I want to, congratulate all of y'all and best wishes to all of y'all. Keep it going. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Disha, for putting this together. I have not been on the board of Disha. I was asked to come and moderate, and I'm really grateful that they chose a good person to moderate, along with this lovely lady here, who I learned a lot from her. I'm going to hand it over to you.
I want to thank our fantastic audience, both here and at home. Thank you so much for tuning in. Your participation and your energy is the reason why this debate was so meaningful. So give yourselves a round of applause. Now, one last thing. We would like Bharati to make a closing statement.
Thank you, everybody, for your attendance and your attention. Thank you to all the candidates for gracing this occasion and participating in the spirited discussion. We loved hearing from everyone. And I think the people of Sugarland feel blessed to have such a wonderful group of people that are willing to take a leadership position and care so deeply about the community. Let's make sure that we vote. Early voting is April 22nd to April 29th. Early voting is very important, so I really hope those of you who are here, you take advantage of that and also encourage friends and family to take advantage of that. Election day is May 3rd. So these are the important dates we'd like people to remember.
Sorry to interrupt. Another day. Today is the last day to register to vote.
Yes,
So if
so
you are-
Ashish can help you with that. If you would like to register to vote, you haven't yet, please get with Ashish ji and he can guide you through the process. So thank you again to the Set Brothers and the entire team for making this beautiful venue available to us. Karan Bhai from Bhojan Restaurant for sponsoring the refreshments, the entire Disha team for putting this together, and of course, our gracious hosts, Dr. Vujar and Judy Butler. Thank you, everybody. You want to come together for a group picture? All right, so a little bit more patience while we group together for a picture.
If anyone has no.
Hey, folks, let's make this really memorable for all of us and for these 5 candidates. Come on back here so we can take a picture. Look, come right here, and y'all can stand here maybe with us. So please come on, come ahead here.
Everyone, please come on. Doesn't matter, we will have one of these by the mayor, so get a picture. Please.
Please join us.
Squeeze in, we'll get to know each other really well. It's a good idea. If your knees allow it, do it. Just wait. Please, everybody. Who's taking the picture?
I know I am.
Seashan's got it.
Dr. Nikam, please. Do the honor.
This side has more weight.
Eduardo, can you please come and take a picture?
I'll take a picture.
Please.
For now.
No, don't run away, come on.
Get over here.
All right, looks good now.
Hold on, Kunal is coming, hold on.
All right.
Here, and all.
Right here, don't kick me.
Hey, everybody. Okay, if you guys looking in here, you are in the picture. Look here. You are in the picture if you're looking here.
Now this is testing the stage.
Everybody, I got it.
One more.
All right. Here we go, here we go. Say Disha.
Disha!
There we go.
Thank you, guys.